Welcome to Side Roads. I'm Carlos, and this is a very impressive 2025 Honda Civic Hatchback Hybrid. The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Hatchback comes with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine combined with a dual electric motors for a total output of 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. Comes front-wheel drive only, and the engine is paired to a e-CVT. The Civic Hybrid Hatchback competes in the compact hatchback segment, which is pretty small, against cars like the Toyota Corolla Hatchback and the Mazda 3 Hatchback. We also have about to hit the market the Kia K4 Hatchback. Now, the Civic has an advantage, which is the hybrid system. There is no other hybrid hatchback in the market. Safety features for the 2025 Honda Civic Hatchback Hybrid are things like collision mitigation braking system, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keeping assist system, road departure mitigation, blind spot information system, cross traffic monitor system, driver attention monitor, and low speed braking control. Fuel efficiency for the Civic Hybrid Hatchback is 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers city and 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 50 MPG city and 45 MPG highway. Price for the 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Hatchback starts in Canada around the $34,000 for the non-hybrid models. And then the hybrid lineup starts around $38,000 Canadian to $41,000 Canadian. In the US, the price of the non-hybrid starts around $27,000 US dollars. The hybrid range comes from $30,000 US dollars to $33,000 US dollars. The interior on the 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Hatchback is great in here. We just reviewed the Civic Sedan, also hybrid for the channel, and the story is the same here. The materials are all nice and soft and high quality, are very nicely put together. The support points are also soft and in the perfect height for chill driving. We have the front two windows with one touch up and down. The steering wheel comes wrapped in leather and is heated. It feels nice in your hands too, and the design is pretty good. The seats are also very comfortable. They are leather in this top trim and have perforation on the middle and contrast stitching. The whole cabin is black in this model that we are driving today. We have a 10.2 inches digital gauge cluster, and you get all the information that you need. All the messages from the car are coming from here. You can configure a little, and also the view changes a little bit. But because this is a hybrid model, you also have all the hybrid information, and when you are charging or using the battery or in EV mode or in gas mode, that is pretty cool. And you have a battery meter here and your gas meter. It's pretty simple, but it's very well executed. And then we have a 9 inches digital infotainment screen. It's touch screen too, it's color. The response seems nice. The icons are now big and color too, and I like that. It's pretty user friendly, and you have Google built in with Google Maps, and you also have Alexa built in here too, so you get a lot of help and the latest from this infotainment system. I like that. There is a backup camera that Honda have to work on because it's not the greatest, but it's good enough for the function. I like that. And we have a volume knob here. The system comes included with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless. We have a Bose premium sound system, and I tested it. It sounds pretty good. I'm not a sounds expert, but for a general guy like me, it's very good. We have air conditioning controls here, which are all physical buttons at your reach and easy to use, and also easy to see and to find them. And they are big. I find that will be for most users a very good feature. Here we have this honeycomb inspired grill here for the air vents, and it looks pretty cool. It's different. Only Honda has done here so far, and a little bit of a piano black trim here. It looks good. The whole cabin is black. It's a little bit dark. I like it in general. I prefer black cabins, but I also have to recognize that when you combine colors, it makes the cabin a little bit alive. The ergonomics though are great in here. Everything is at reach, close to your hands and your view. It's pretty simple, minimalistic, I would say. There is an horizontal theme here on the design, but very user-friendly and very ergonomic. We have two USB charging ports here, a USB-C, and then we have a wireless charger for your phone, a regular shifter. Cannot believe that we still have those, so thank you Honda. Two cup holders. You have drive modes in this Civics, which go from individual, sport, normal, and econ. So in the individual, you can combine some of the features that you may prefer from all of those different modes, an electronic parking brake, and a pretty decent size center console with a little tray, which helps with coins or something smaller there. The glove box is on the average size, I would say, and we have a panoramic sunroof here. Sorry, a regular sunroof here. Very nice. I like this cabin. I think this will attract most customers. This is a huge departure from the previous generation Civic, but I think this will be welcome with by even more Civic and Honda customers and any other customers that are trying Honda for the first time. I fit behind myself based on my driving position. There is plenty of space for my knees, and there is enough space for my height. There is an armrest there with two cup holders, and because this is a top trim, we have heated seats in the back, and the seats can be folded 40-60. The trunk is very practical. This is a hatchback. It's one of the advantages of having a hatchback, and the advantage over the sedan on the Civic Hybrid, which makes it even better, which is incredible. And it's spacious. You can fold the seats and have all this extra space, and it has a pretty clever cover for the back too, so you can have your stuff in the trunk protected. I think this cabin is great. How is to drive the 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Hatchback? This is excellent. We recently drove the Civic Hybrid sedan for the channel, and now we have the hatchback, which is my preferred form, but there are some small differences there. The good news is, in terms of really the overall driving experience, this is the same, which is to say, and I said this in that video, to me the Honda Civic Hybrid could be the perfect car from Honda. And to me, this goes even beyond that for some little advantages, so maybe this is the perfect car. The hybrid system from Honda applied to this Civic is just perfection. I have driven some other hybrids which are great, and maybe if you are not into cars and you are not paying attention, any hybrid will be good for you, but the execution here is just so good. The transitions between the electric mode and the hybrid mode and the engine back and forth all the time are seamless. You cannot feel it, you cannot detect it. If it wasn't for the needles and the instruments here telling you what is happening and where the power is coming from and what is giving the wheels power, you will never know. And to me, that is the secret of perfection from the Civic Hybrid, because this is a very loved and wanted car. There is a loyalty here. They sell a lot of these For years and years, people have been loving the Civic, and anyone who gets a Civic Hybrid right now, this 2025 model or 2026 are already um, showcased in their webpage, will never feel that they are not buying a Civic, because the driving dynamics are here, the space, the dynamics, the Civic sensation, the size of the car, everything that makes a Civic is here, with the added value of a perfect hybrid system and a much more fuel efficient vehicle. So this is crazy. I said pretty much the same in my Civic sedan hybrid video, so I have to repeat myself because that's the story here. So let's start with the suspension. The suspension is great. It's a little bit firm, but mostly soft and comfortable. And this is a very nice car to spend time in the highway, in the city, in any driving situation. You will be very comfortable in the Honda Civic Hatchback Hybrid, or sedan for what it's worth. It is great. But there are two other things about the suspension. They deal very well with imperfections from the road and soaking up both those potholes or whatever it is that is in the road, still giving you some level of firm suspension, which adds to the sporty feeling and the great driving dynamics. But the most incredible thing to me on this car, on this price point, on this segment, the suspension does this thing like right now it's doing it. Once you get in the highway, especially if the road is somehow smooth, you feel like you are floating. You don't feel the wheels, you don't feel the pavement, the ground. Only you feel that you are going, that you are being lifted and being transported. It is a unique sensation. I really invite you to drive a Civic Hybrid, hatchback, or sedan, and maybe you will agree with me and notice what I'm trying to explain to you here. Amazing, this is fantastic. Then we have the steering, which I really like. It's really direct. You don't have to make pretty much any corrections on the highway. It is very nice in here. I like it. It feels quick and agile and direct. I really like it. It's soft enough. It's not super soft. It's super comfortable to park and drive in the city, but you still have some level of connection here that I really like. Then we have the transmission. The transmission is an eCVT, and it does a really good job. Combined with two things. First of all, which I forgot to mention, sorry, the cabin is really quiet. This is double laminated. I'm sure these are too, because it's crazy quiet in here. It's really comfortable. It elevates the experience of driving this car, but also helps with not listening to the CVT-ness of the eCVT. The E part is because it's electronically managed to help with the electric motors and the power coming from the electric motor. So it is very good. It's a CVT tuned for electrification, but because you always have the system from the electric motors, the takeoff is really smooth and no shifting or anything. It fakes shifting in some points here and there, but it is, you have more of an electric feeling by driving this car than a CVT, and I like that. And because it's so quiet, then you don't hear anything from the engine or from the CVT. You hear a little bit, but not a lot. So you don't feel that typical sensation from CVTs that the engine is struggling, or that wee sound from the engine combined with the CVT. Great experience of taking off and passing and everything, and all the power that you need is here too, and we'll talk about that. So great combo between the transmission, the eCVT, and the engine, and all the electric portion of this vehicle. Great. Then we have the brakes, are also really good, are very well executed for a hybrid or regen brakes. These brakes are regen, which means when you brake, you generate electricity to help keep the battery charged, and when you coast or lift your foot from the gas pedal, also helps with regen. And it's pretty quick too, pretty efficient, but the brakes, they feel 99% normal, and I like that. And repeating myself, when people coming from a previous Civic coming to here will not find anything weird, anything different, anything that will ruin their Civic's experience. It is great in here. I really like these brakes too, and they are powerful enough to stop the car, which is not too big and not too heavy either. So pretty good there. They are very confidence inspiring. The visibility is great on the car, the windshield is big, the side windows are tall, the side mirrors are also, I think they have the right sides, but the position is really good, so you have visibility of everything, especially for parking. It's really good, this car. And there is a deep pillar there because this is a hatchback. The blind spot is a little bit thick there. But the thing that I like the most, and it's one of the advantages of getting the hatchback over the sedan, is that this window is much bigger than the one that you can find in the sedan, so you have better visibility. The second advantage is that you have a windshield or a back window wiper. And I live in Canada, so for Canada and snow and all that, I much prefer having or being able to clean my back window than to have it covered by snow. So to me, those are points for the hatchback as well. So I love those two aspects. I do believe that makes the Civic Hatch a little bit heavier than the regular Civic, but nothing that will take from your experience or the power or anything. So those are positive points more than disadvantages. So great. Then we have the engine, which is a 2-liter 4-cylinder combined with electric motors, and has a total output of 200 horsepower. And that's plenty for this vehicle, plenty for the segment. Is at the top of the hybrid segment. It's at the top of the gas compact hatchback segment. It's just great. But there is one thing that I have noticed by driving all these electrified vehicles for the channel until now. 200 horsepower from a gas engine is not the same, in my humble opinion, please. I'm not an engineer. Not the same than 200 horsepower from a hybrid vehicle or an electrified vehicle, because assistance from the electric motors changes the experience. Taking off from a stop and passing on the highway, it feels a lot nicer and better, and you feel that you have much more power here than in a regular gas engine. So you will never have a problem with this amount of power on the Civic. The driving dynamics are great. By the way, the seats are really comfortable too. So this is somehow a little bit of a sporty car. It's close to the ground. It takes corners like a champ. As I said, the steering is really quick and reacts well and connects to the whole car. You feel that you're always in control. You feel safe driving this car, and you want to push it harder too. So it is great. It's one of the few sporty compact hatchback or sedans, depending on the market. So I do like that about the Civic, and everybody does, for what I have read and watched. So this is not news for you, but again, I'm agreeing with the rest there. So I love the Civic Hybrid, in this case a hatchback. I think this is the best product from Honda that I have driven for the channel. I think this overall product and the way that Honda executed this is top notch, is borderline perfect, and I recommend this car to anyone. Has everything that you need and much more. Absolutely fantastic. I said it before and I have to say it again. Honda, with the 2025 Civic Hybrid, has done an incredible job. This is almost a perfect car. And then they came with the hatchback version, which takes the Civic even further.